Welcome to the Yellowbird's RedList Friends, a series showcasing some of the world's endangered species from the International Union for the Conservation of Nature's Red List of Endangered Species. In this episode of the RedList Friends, we will be talking about Iglacialis, also known as the North Atlantic right whale. As always, all of my sources can be found in the description below. Let's start off with taxonomy. Eukaryota, Animalia, Chordata, Mammalia, Cetartiodactyla, Belinidae, Eubalana, Glacialis. For ease, we'll go with Iglacialis. Iglacialis, or the North Atlantic right whale, is one of 3 species in the Eubalana genus, the others being E. japonica, the northern Pacific right whale, and E. australis, the southern right whale. The next closest genus is Balana, with only one extant species, the bowhead whale. According to Animal Diversity Web, Iglacialis is usually uniformly dark in color except for scars, belly patches, parasites, and head callosities, most of which are light. Callosities are prominent near the blowholes, eyes, and on the chin and lower lip. Iglacialis is a rotund whale with a large girth. They have arched jaws, which hold around 600 baleen plates, which can be up to 5 meters in length, which are used to filter food from water. Baleen are thin plates in the mouths of some whales made out of keratin, the same material that fingernails and hairs are made out of. Iglacialis also has the most blubber of any whale, which can be up to 28 inches thick, comprising up to 45% of the whale's weight. Speaking of weight, these guys are heavy, weighing between 55,000 and 95,000 kilograms, and they are usually between 10 and 15 meters long. Little is known about the lifespan of Iglacialis, but one adult whale was seen irregularly from 1935 until 1995. She would have been around 65 years old when she was last seen. Bowhead whales, a close relative of right whales, can live close to 200 years, so the lifespan of Iglacialis might be quite a bit longer than what scientists have confirmed. According to the IUCN, the North Atlantic right whale has a pretty expansive range, from the tip of Florida to West Africa to Iceland. Their 2 primary habitats are Neuridic and epipelagic ocean environments. The epipelagic zone is where light penetrates, about 200 meters deep in the ocean. Iglacialis prefers to be near land for protection and food, but they have been known to travel far offshore over deep waters. Neuridic zones are where Iglacialis spends most of its time. These are areas in which light penetrates down to the seafloor, allowing photosynthesis for both free-floating and bottom-dwelling organisms. Typically, these areas correspond with a continental shelf. Neuridic zones are characterized by relatively high concentrations of nutrients and biological activity. Animal Diversity Web recognizes 4 critical habitats for Iglacialis: the Bay of Fundy, the Browns-Baccaro Bay, Great South Channel, and the Cape Cod Bay. Each of these is distinguished by high densities of copepod populations, a main food source for Iglacialis. Despite their tremendous size, the North Atlantic right whale feeds on teensy crustaceans, primarily copepods, along with krill and euphasiids. Iglacialis skim to eat, swimming near the surface of the water with their mouths open, scooping up food. They then close their mouths and push the water out through their baleen plates. Baleen acts as a filter, allowing water to escape while keeping tasty copepods in the whale's mouth to be eaten. North Atlantic right whales are migratory creatures. According to the Society for Marine Mammalogy, they migrate between feeding grounds in the Labrador Sea and their winter calving areas off Georgia and Florida. Iglacialis is typically found on its own or in groups of 2, but can sometimes be found in small groups of up to 12 individuals. Because identifying the sex of right whales is difficult, little is actually known about these whale group demographics. North Atlantic right whales are considered promiscuous or polygynandrous breeders, meaning that males and females each have multiple mating partners per season. In addition to being promiscuous, Iglacialis have the largest testicles of any living animal, weighing up to 525 kilograms. Iglacialis mate in winter, giving birth in spring a year later. Typically, females give birth to one calf every 3 to 4 years. Calves are between 4.5 and 8 meters long and weigh about 1,400 kilograms. Iglacialis is usually too large to be preyed upon by other animals, but killer whales and sharks will target calves. Historically, humans also hunted right whales, but we'll come back to people later. Predators are few, but there is possible competition for resources between Iglacialis and sea whales, herring, and basking sharks due to overlapping ranges and diets, although there is little evidence of this. Small crustaceans, also called whale lice or cyamids, feed on the whale's skin and are found near the callosities of healthy whales. Cyamids are typically considered harmless to the whales, but their relationship with them is poorly understood by scientists. The North Atlantic right whale is the most endangered whale species on Earth, with fewer than 250 mature individuals left in the wild. To understand how this situation evolved, we have to go back in time. Right whales have been hunted since at least the 11th century. In fact, they are called right whales because they were the right whales to hunt. They have a lot of blubber, are slow swimmers, feed near the surface, and float when killed. Over 100,000 right whales were hunted in the 19th century. And by the early 20th century, right whales were almost extinct. But in 1935, the League of Nations made it illegal to hunt right whales in all oceans. Nearly 100 years after hunting was banned, Iglacialis is predicted to become extinct within the next 25 years. But why? What is causing the decline of these serene cetaceans? According to the IUCN, the biggest threats to the North Atlantic right whale is fishing net entanglement and ship collisions. Photo identification revealed that over 80% of right whales bear evidence of being entangled once, and over half of being entangled twice in their lifetimes. Juvenile right whales are at most risk, with a mortality rate of around 25% during their first year after being entangled. Right whales are also the most vulnerable large whales to ship strikes. Their habitat and migration routes are close to major ports along the Atlantic coastline and often overlap with shipping routes. Added with Iglacialis's feeding pattern as skimmers near the surface of the water is a recipe for ship strikes. Additionally, North Atlantic right whales have seen a northward shift in their summer distribution, likely linked to changing food availability due to climate change and warming oceans. And there is some evidence that climate change is affecting their food supply, making it harder for right whales to find the food they need to support pregnancy, putting the species at even greater risk of extinction in the long run. So, is there any hope for the survival of the most endangered species of whale? There may be. Confirmed deaths by ship collisions have decreased in recent years. This is likely in part to do with legislation aimed at protecting feeding, calving, and migration areas for the whales. However, the fight for the future of Iglacialis is far from done. We can encourage governments to protect habitat and alter shipping routes where collisions are high. In 2003, some major shipping lanes near the Bay of Fundy in Canada were shifted, which reduced Canadian right whale strikes by 80%. By writing to your government representatives and supporting conservation organizations, these magnificent creatures can hopefully start to make a comeback. If they can't come back, at least maybe their habitats can be protected for all the other species that inhabit them. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it or learned something new, please like and share this video with others. Also, comment down below what endangered species you would like to see featured on the RedList Friends. Thanks for watching and have a lovely day. The epipelagic zone is where